patuloy pa rin yung ginagawa namin clearing operations. Ito po ay nasa mandato namin based on Land Transportation Act 4136 at yung mga memorandum circular ng Metro Manila Council.
Okay.
So, kailangan po namin gawin to para magbigay ng alternatibong ruta sa ating mga kababayan at hindi tayo nagsisiksikan sa EDSA. So, aside from that, dahil naman talaga naayon sa batas, ang sidewalk is beyond the commerce of man. Ang kalsada para sa flowing traffic, so hindi po dapat pinapagparkingan. So, yan po ang pang-araw-araw na lang namin ginagawa, clearing operations. Lagi nga kami minsan, halos araw-araw kami napapaaway, marami nagre-reklamo. Pero kailangan po namin tugunan talaga yung mandato namin. And at the same time, yung mga reklamo na dumarating sa aming ahensya.
Bago matapos ang taong 2018, sabay-sabay tayong magbabalik tanaw sa mga pangyayaring nagpakaba. Nagbigay pag-asa at naghatid ng saya.
Nasunog ito. Butit na lang na punta ko doon sa derma na she's very good. Kasi yung ginamit ko kasi, yung sa asawa ko, cream lang yan. 1, sabunan mo. Sige. 2, mahapli na. 3, gano'n. 4, 5. Tapos mayroon pa yung maliit. Tingin ko, bakit nangitim ako lalo?
Sa loob ng isang taong pagmamatiyag ng mata ng agila, Pilipinas 2018, ang year-end report ng Eagle News Service. Ihahatid ng pinagbuklod na puwersa ng Net25, eaglenews.ph, eaglenewslive.com at ng Radyo Agila. Pilipinas 2018. Abangan!
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
We're working to connect a region of over 600 bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Maricar Velasco delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines. Desperately needed aid flowed into a stretch of Indonesia's tsunami-struck coastline Tuesday But humanitarian workers warned that clean water and medicine supplies were dwindling as thousands crammed makeshift evacuation centers. The Philippine Taekwondo Association meted an indefinite ban on the high school taekwondo jin who became viral last week after videos of him bullying his schoolmates surfaced online. And the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights convened the 2018 dialogue to mainstream the rights of persons with disabilities in the ASEAN community in Bangkok. Desperately needed aid flowed into a stretch of Indonesia's tsunami-struck coastline Tuesday. However, humanitarian workers warned that clean water and medicine supplies were dwindling as thousands crammed makeshift evacuation centers. Fears about a public health crisis come as the death toll from Saturday's volcano-triggered disaster rose to nearly 400, with thousands more displaced from flattened homes. Rizala Alimin, a doctor working for NGO Aksi Sepat Tanggap at a local school that was turned into a temporary shelter, said a lot of the children are sick with fevers, headaches, and they haven't had enough water. Alimin said they have less medicine than usual and it's not healthy for evacuees. He adds there isn't enough clean water and they need food and people are sleeping on the floor. The powerful tsunami struck at night and without warning, sweeping over popular beaches on southern Sumatra and western Java and inundated tourist hotels and coastal settlements. The latest death toll stood at 373, with 1,459 people injured and another 128 still missing. Many of the more than 5,000 evacuees are too afraid to return home, fearing another disaster. Survivors of Indonesian tsunami recall the moment when the wave hit, and they're also asking for food and aid.
Gelombang datang ke rumah, saya dekat dari pantai, ukuran sekitar 2 kilo lah dari pantai ke rumah.
Terus ngungsi ke sini?
Ngungsi ke sini, jadi lari.
Di depan airnya.
Belum berani pulang?
Belum berani kan airnya. Pokoknya bagaimana nanti kalau orang-orang pulang ya pulang semua gitu.
Kenapa enggak
di posko pengungsian kan itu kan tadinya itu mah belakangan saya duluan. Jadi mau apa? Gitu.
Terus sudah ada bantuan?
Ya belum.
Pak butuh apa Pak?
Hah?
Ini apa Pak?
Butuhnya ya pokoknya makanan apa aja.
Hilang
ya saya datangnya ke sini kita nerima.
Tiba-tiba aja. Jadi saya juga kebetulan di sini. Nah, pas kejadian langsung saya juga lari ke sana di keramaian orang hajat. Sampai motor dari sini ke bawah ke sana, Pak. Motor-motor, jadi setelah kejadian itu jam berapa? Jam 2 saya balik sini. Saya mau ambil kendaraan, nggak bisa karena udah ketumpuk puing-puing.
Pas
lagi ada acara. Teman saya mancing di sini, Pak. Di sini jadi awalnya tuh si gunung anak Krakatau itu ngeluarin api. Setelah ngeluarin api, laharnya ke bawah, terus laut tuh surut. Nah, setelah surut itu dia ngeluarin gelombang besar. Sementara pakaian dan makanan instan gitu, karena mereka banyak mereka tuh melarikan diri, tidak sempat membawa perbekalan ataupun surat-surat berharga. Mereka juga banyak yang terbawa arus.
Siapa kan?
Saya Ino. Saya Kadus.
Warga Apes kah? Desa apa?
Ini Kampung Teluk, Nelayan 1, Nelayan 2. Ya, Desa Teluk.
An Indonesian rescuer says the damage in the tsunami-hit area is quite severe and the evacuation process is ongoing.
Kami di sini cukup parah, Mbak ya.
Rata-rata gedung juga pada runtuh semua. Tapi ya di sini kita berusaha sebaik mungkin untuk melakukan pencarian korban.
Richard Tiu, a geohazard expert from the University of Portsmouth in England, said the eruption and landslide may well have destabilized the volcano, heightening the risk of another tsunami. Anak Krakatoa, which forms a small island in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra, emerged around 1928 in the crater left by Krakatoa, whose massive eruption in 1883 killed at least 36,000 people and affected global weather patterns for years. Oxfam and other international aid agencies said they would help in the aftermath as local rescuers evacuated the injured and set up tarpaulins to provide shelter. Indonesia's geological agency says the volcano erupted for 2 minutes and 12 seconds on Friday, the day before the tsunami, creating an ash cloud that rose 400 meters above the mountain. It was caught on camera by a team from Indonesia's Natural Resources Conservancy Agency. Everyone in the region will have been aware of Anak Krakatau, the volcano that emerged in the sea channel just less than 100 years ago. But these eruptions have been described by local experts as relatively low-scale and semi-continuous. In other words, it's been part of the background. The volcano lies in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra, linking the Indian Ocean and Java Sea. An unpredictable chain of events and an inadequate early warning system combined to deadly effect with the tsunami that slammed into coastal areas of Indonesia, killing nearly 300 people, disaster officials and experts said Monday. The killer wave struck tourist beaches and low-lying settlements on both sides of the Sunda Strait with devastating force on Saturday night, catching both residents and disaster monitors totally unaware. In a series of tweets later deleted with a stricken apology, the National Disaster Agency had stated there was no tsunami threat, even as the wave crashed over parts of southern Sumatra and the western tip of Java. Disaster Agency spokesman Sutopo Purwo Nugroho acknowledged the lack of an early warning system is why the tsunami was not detected. He said Indonesia's tsunami buoy warning system has not been operational since 2012. He said the system had to be developed again to ensure that Indonesia had a tsunami early warning system which would be triggered by undersea landslides and volcanic eruptions. He admitted that Indonesia does not yet have a tsunami advance warning system that can detect undersea landslide and undersea volcanic eruptions. Currently, the country only has an advance warning system that is triggered by earthquakes. It was first established in 2008, a few years after a 9.3 magnitude earthquake below the seabed triggered a wave that struck Banda Aceh within 15 minutes. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami killed 168,000 people in Indonesia alone and left nearly 250,000 dead around the region. Another tsunami could strike Indonesia, experts warned on Sunday, a day after more than 200 people were killed by a wave triggered by a volcanic eruption. Dr. Richard Tiu of the University of Portsmouth in England said the likelihood of further tsunamis in the Sunda Strait will remain high while Anak Krakatau volcano is going through its current active phase because that might trigger further submarine landslides. Volcanologist Jacques-Marie Bardizet at the University of Paris South noted the volcano has been particularly active since June. Dr. Tiu said that sonar surveys would now be needed to map the seafloor around the volcano, but unfortunately submarine surveys typically take many months to organize and carry out. However, he added devastating tsunami caused by volcanic eruptions are rare. One of the most famous and deadly was caused by the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883. Meanwhile, Indonesian President Joko Widodo warns people to stay alert and says the evacuation is still ongoing during his visit to the area hit by the volcano-triggered tsunami.
Ya, semuanya hati-hati dan waspada itu aja.
Cukup makasih.
Masih evakuasi korban yang meninggal, evakuasi dan menyelesaikan korban-korban yang masih luka-luka, baik yang ada di puskesmas, yang ada di rumah sakit. Saya penyelesaiannya ada di situ.
Terima kasih.
Hi guys, I'm Marie Francisco here at the Shoe Museum in Marikina in the Philippines, reminding you to watch Digital News every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And I am 1 for 25.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Welcome back. The Philippine Taekwondo Association meted an indefinite ban on the high school Taekwondo Jin, who became viral last week after videos of him bullying his schoolmates surfaced online. In a statement posted online early Monday, PTA President Robert Aventajado said the penalty will cover all sanctioned events not limited to Taekwondo-related events, belt promotions, tournaments, or facilities of member institutions. Aventajado added that the ban can be lifted, but only if the said youngster will undergo rehabilitation with organizations equipped to handle his counseling. He adds the aim for this is to allow the individual to own responsibility for his actions, show remorse, and contribute positively to the community. He adds that the PTA will help through education and training programs. The PTA warned that he can be expelled from Philippine Taekwondo if he decides not to take this option. The Ateneo Junior High School already dismissed Jin on Sunday for the bullying incidents. The Department of Education said Monday it acknowledges the authority of schools in imposing disciplinary sanctions in addressing cases of child abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, and bullying. This as the department responded to the Ateneo de Manila University's decision to penalize its junior high school student caught bullying other students in a couple of viral videos. In a statement, DepEd said it allows such action when necessary and consistent with the law and the department's policies. DepEd said private schools must align their anti-bullying policies with theirs as mandated by Republic Act 10627 or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013 and its implementing rules and regulations issued through DepEd Order Number 55 Series of 2013 and reiterated in DepEd Memorandum Number 5 Series of 2017 for strict implementation. DepEd also stressed that private schools must comply with the Child Protection Policy issued through DepEd Number 40 Series of 2012, which requires all public and private kindergarten, elementary, and secondary schools to create their own child protection committee to ensure that cases and instances of abuse and bullying are closely monitored and expeditiously investigated. Citing bullying as a societal issue, DepEd said it demands teachers, parents, school administrators, community members, and the media to cooperate in instilling a culture of peace and the value of respect for one another. Lawyers lodged an appeal on Monday to free two Reuters journalists jailed for their reportings on Myanmar's Rohingya crisis, decrying the sentence as a mistake that has already resulted in the pair being locked up for a year. Reuters disputed the charge and said the two were set up by police after probing the massacre of 10 Rohingya Muslims during a military crackdown. Their conviction in September sparked widespread global condemnation, including from U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, who asked civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi to intervene. However, calls for their release have fallen flat inside Myanmar, where Suu Kyi has yet to speak up for the reporters publicly. Their trial was criticized by rights groups as a sham and payback for uncovering the September 2017 massacre in Indian village in Myanmar's Rakhine state. During the trial, a whistle-blowing policeman told the court his superior ordered a sting to entrap the reporters. On Monday, lawyers for the pair submitted an appeal to the High Court. The journalist lawyer Alkun Ringpan told the bench in a hearing attended by embassy officials and free media advocates as well as the wives of the jailed journalist, this 7-year jail sentence is a mistake. He added they were trying to find out who was involved with the Indin case. That's why they tried to meet the police, and they did not ask for anything secret.
စိတ်ကငါတွေပုံမှန်ပါပဲသူတို့လည်းဒီယူကမ်းပေါ်အများကြီးမျှော်လင့်ပါတယ်သူတို့လည်းသူတို့လွတ်မြောက်မယ်လို့ယုံကြည်ကြပါတကယ်ကိုကြုံတွေ့ခဲ့ရတဲ့အမှန်တရားတွေအတိုင်းပဲညီမတို့ဘက်ကရှောက်လွှဲချက်ပေးထားတာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ညီမတို့ကတော့အားရတယ်
I am here at Gastown, which is a National Historic Site in Vancouver, British Columbia. Located in Vancouver's oldest neighborhood is the steam-powered clock, which is Gastown's most famous landmark. Make sure to tune in to Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I am Lou Aquino, EBC correspondent, and I am 1 with 25.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
How will we keep the prices down?
Pero baka matulungan niyo ako dito. May kaibigan ako taga-Kapitolyo. Baka kilala niyo ho?
Welcome back. The ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights, or AICHR, convened a 2018 dialogue to mainstream the rights of persons with disabilities in the ASEAN community in Bangkok. It was the 4th annual dialogue conducted with a view to fostering the realization of the rights of persons with disabilities in all community pillars of ASEAN. Focusing on the theme accessibility through universal design, the dialogue gathered participants from ASEAN sector bodies, governments, officials, organizations of persons with disabilities, national human rights institutions, and experts on disability rights. Participants exchanged views and shared experiences in the application of universal design as key to achieve accessibility in various spheres beyond physical environments, including in financial services, access to justice, and access to information. The dialogue commenced with the launch of the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan 2025, mainstreaming the rights of persons with disabilities in conjunction with commemoration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. In his opening remarks delivered through a video, Thailand's Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-o-cha welcomed the launching of the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan, which aims to make the region an accessible and inclusive community for all. General Anantapur Kanjanarat, Minister of Social Development and Human Security of Thailand, in his remarks underlined that the access to information and technology was key for empowerment of persons with disabilities. The launch of the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan was also welcomed by the Executive Secretary of the UNESCAP, Armida Salcia Alice Janbana, Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN for ASEAN Political Security Community, Huang Anthuan, and the Ambassador of Japan to ASEAN, Kaju Sunaga. During the three-day dialogue, participants and resource persons highlighted universal design as reconditioned to enabling environments and the need for public-private-people partnership with participation of persons with disabilities and organizations of persons with disabilities to ensure accessibility and inclusion. Empowering persons with disabilities to understand and exercise their rights and the use of information and communication technology to enhance accessibility were also highlighted. The dialogue was organized by Dr. Siri Monthasuth, the representative of Thailand to the AICHR, with support from Japan ASEAN Integration Fund and the Australian government. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III said agriculture will remain among the top concerns of the Duterte administration for the rest of its term to fulfill its goal of raising farm productivity and rural incomes and avoid a repeat of the supply problems in rice and other major food items that led to the elevated inflation rate in the second half of 2018. Dominguez, in a statement on Monday, said that improving agricultural output and raising farmers' incomes through education and the use of new farm technologies emerged as the #1 actionable recommendation of the private sector in the 4 Sulong Pilipinas events held last November, which shows that even the business community recognizes the importance of the farm sector in sustaining the economy's high growth rate. Dominguez said in response to a query by businessman George Barcelon during a recent business forum, they will focus on agriculture in the coming years. They know that the major reason for the inflation this year has been the logistics problems they have had in agriculture as well as production problems. Barcelon is the chairman of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which helped organize in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao last November the 4 regional workshops of Sulong Pilipinas, the annual consultative meeting with the private sector pioneered by the Duterte administration to gather the inputs and recommendations of the business sector and civil society on how to fulfill the government's goal of high and inclusive growth.
You are invited to take part in this year's Philippine Development Forum.
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco and I am 1 with 25.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay